Students, please. We are all deeply saddened by the losses our academy has suffered today.
Principal Nova looked preen to perfection, her dark locks coiled into a shining bun and her clothes immaculate. There wasn't a single sign she'd fought in the battle earlier on as a powerful manticore, but she had. Just like plenty of others in this room. But that was the way of Fae. We kept going, even through the hardest of times.
The FIB have sent the bodies home to their families. We will all greatly miss Darren Torkin, Lily Jessops, Harriet Kent, and Ashanti LaRue.
The wolf pack howled as one, the sound piercing my gut. Caleb wrapped an arm around Seth, and Max reached out to hold his hand, taking his pain away with his siren gifts.
Although this tragedy has rocked us to our core, we must remember that we are Fae. We do not falter in the face of adversity. We lift our heads high and walk on. Tomorrow, classes will continue as normal, and freshmen will begin preparation for the reckoning, which will be held this coming week. We will show those cowardly nymphs who skulk in the shadows that we cannot be broken, not even for a moment.
Nova pressed out an invisible crease from her button-down jacket, then clasped her hands together.
Now, Zodiac Academy is officially on lockdown. We will not lose a single other student to the hands of the vile creatures who have declared war on us this very day. Curfew will start at 9 p.m. sharp every night without fail, including weekends. Any student found out of their houses after this time will face severe punishment. 250 points will be docked from your house, and you will face detention with Professor Orion.
She gestured to me, and a sea of eyes turned my way. I gave them a dark look to stoke a little fear in the hearts of any rebels considering breaking those orders. Darcy's eyes locked with mine, and my lungs compressed. Why was it so f***ing difficult to cut her out of me? One look was enough to make me consider risking everything I'd ever worked for.
Werewolves? We'll have to run under the moon early in the evening.
I searched for Darius again as I realized the major issue this curfew posed for us. His gaze butted against mine, as if he was thinking the same thing, and I jerked my head to beckon him. He slid out of his seat, and no one paid him much attention as he moved to the far wall and started a subtle trail toward me. I slipped back out of the door, and a moment later he joined me outside. He said nothing as we headed away toward the shadowy path between Pluto offices and Mercury chambers. The FIB were crawling all over this place, so I kept walking without a single word, heading toward the entrance to the offices. It was deathly silent in the atrium, and the darkness was penetrated by the dim blue glow of lights on the sorting machines. I opened my palm, casting a silencing bubble around us as a precaution. Curfew presents a real issue for your training.
Yeah, and I still don't even have my own draining dagger to practice with.
Have you got back everything else that your pal Milton stole? I'd gut that kid for burning down Darius's room if I wouldn't lose my damn job for it.
I got back a few coins that were in his room. It's hard to say if he took any more than that, and I can't ask him outright about the dagger. It'd draw too much attention to it. But he's too thick to realize what it is.
Stupidity is dangerous around something like that. What if he starts cutting himself?
Well, he'll fuck up his whole life if he gets caught doing that.
A tense moment passed between us as the weight of his words settled in the air. We'd both lose everything if we got caught, but we were too far down this road to stop now. The last thing we need is the FIB getting their hands on it. It's not traceable, but if they know an artifact like that is floating around campus, they'll start a witch hunt.
Your fuck buddy will keep them off our backs.
Francesca covers for me when we go after nymphs. She's not aware of my other hobbies. Darius knew that. He just wanted a rise out of me, which meant he was in a seriously bad mood and playing with fire.
I think she'd still take a bullet for you, even if she did figure out that you...
I stole the air from his lungs with a twist of my fingers. A crunch had sounded outside. A footstep for sure. Darius glared at me as he caught his breath, but the look I gave him told him exactly why, and his eyes whipped to the door. I'd cast a silencing bubble around us, but an FIB agent could have breached it if they'd sensed it. I leaned in close, speaking into Darius's ear. I have a feeling the FIB aren't being transparent with their investigation this time. They're watching all of us. I'll message you privately. Delete everything I send the second you've read it.